Oliver lived in a tall, narrow house on the edge of a vast, whispering forest. Though the house was full of interesting trinkets collected by his traveling parents, it often felt too quiet, too empty. He watched other children laughing together in the village square from his attic window, a familiar ache settling in his chest. He longed for companionship, for someone to share adventures and secrets with. But shyness wrapped around him like a heavy cloak. One rainy afternoon, rummaging through a dusty chest in the attic, beneath faded maps and bundles of letters tied with ribbon, his fingers brushed against cold, smooth metal. He pulled out an ornate brass compass, unlike any he'd ever seen. Its needle didn't spin wildly. Instead, it pointed steadily, not north, but deep into the heart of the ancient forest. Etched around its edge were strange, swirling symbols that seemed to glow faintly in the dim light. Driven by a sudden, fierce curiosity that overpowered his usual hesitation, Oliver packed a small satchel with an apple, a chunk of bread, and a canteen of water. The forest, usually intimidating with its towering trees and deep shadows, seemed to beckon him. He followed the compass needle off the familiar paths, ducking under low branches and scrambling over moss-covered rocks. Sunlight dappled through the canopy, painting shifting patterns on the forest floor. The air smelled rich and earthy after walking for what felt like hours. The needle trembled and settled, pointing towards a clearing where a small campfire crackled. Beside it sat a girl with bright, curious eyes and patched overalls, intently sketching a rare, blue-feathered bird perched nearby. She looked up, startled, then smiled warmly. "Hello. Are you lost?" she asked. Her name was Elara, and she knew every bird call and hidden berry patch in the woods. Elara welcomed Oliver with an easy friendliness that melted his shyness. She showed him her sketches and taught him the whistling call of the blue jay. The compass needle, Oliver noticed, now pointed confidently back towards Elara whenever he glanced at it, even as they explored a nearby babbling brook together. Yet, after a wonderful afternoon sharing stories and laughter, the needle shifted again, pulling insistently towards a different part of the forest. Oliver explained the compass to Elara, his voice filled with wonder. Intrigued, she decided to join his quest. Following the new direction, they arrived at the edge of a wide, sparkling river. There, sitting on the bank with fishing line tangled hopelessly around his fingers, was a boy named Finn. He looked utterly flustered. "Blasted knots," he muttered. Elara giggled, and Oliver knelt down, his own fingers surprisingly deft as he helped untangle the mess. Finn beamed with relief and gratitude. Finn, it turned out, knew the river like the back of his hand, the best fishing spots, the safe places to swim, and the slippery stepping stones to cross. He showed Oliver and Elara how to skip stones, his laughter booming across the water. The compass needle, resting in Oliver's palm, now glowed softly, pointing towards each of his new friends. In turn, whenever he thought of them, it felt warm and reassuring. But then, as the sun began its descent, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, the needle spun wildly once more, settling on a direction leading upstream, deeper into the forested hills. The trio exchanged excited glances. Their adventure wasn't over. They followed the compass along the riverbank, Finn leading the way past chattering rapids and deep, quiet pools, until they reached a cluster of ancient oaks high in the branches. Carefully weaving twigs and moss, was another girl, Kira. She moved with the quiet grace of the forest itself. Kira climbed down, her eyes wide with surprise but also a flicker of happiness at seeing others. She spoke softly, pointing out a hidden nest of owlets she was watching over, teaching them the names of different leaves and the tracks of shy forest creatures. She showed Oliver how to listen to the wind in the leaves, a sound like a secret language sitting together in the roots of a giant oak. Sharing Finn's carefully packed dried fruit, Oliver felt a profound sense of belonging. He looked at Elara's bright sketches, Finn's confident grin, and Kira's quiet wisdom. The compass lay in his lap, its needle gently pulsing a soft, golden light that encompassed all three of his friends, bathing them in its warm glow. He realized it wasn't just pointing to them. It seemed to acknowledge the bond forming between them. The walk back through the twilight forest was filled with shared stories.